This is the High School Football America podcast for August the 6th, 2019. I'm Jeff Fisher. Taking a journey to Maryland right now, and if you've been reading High School Football America since we put out our preseason rankings on the 28th of June, the toughest conference in the nation is the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference. 4 teams, yes, I said 4 in the top 25. It is a meat grinder every year. You meet in the regular season. Generally, you do it again in the playoffs. And the number 25 team in the poll, the coach of that team, will join us here to talk about the Falcons. It's Andy Stefanelli. He is entering his 3rd year. He's an alum of the Falcons, and he is here to talk about what's going to be a fun season that includes a trip out west. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jeff.
Yeah, let's kind of, before we dive into the kids and all that, let's just talk about what I talked about at the beginning. That conference of yours is it's a gauntlet, I guess we'll put it that way. I'm going to have you put on the ambassador hat for the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference and just kind of, in the preseason, knowing what you guys have, through the years and all that, how good is this year's version of the conference?
Well, I've been around the conference really, my whole life, and I could tell you, I think this may be the most balanced it's ever been. It's always been very, very competitive, but this year it may take the prize as far as at least going into the season. If I think from top to bottom, how solid everyone is, and just how competitive it's going to be. It really is going to be unique, even to our conference. I think the balance is just incredible.
Yeah, no, it's fun. And like I said, what makes it even more fun or crazy for you and your staff is the fact that you got to do it all over again in the postseason. That's for sure. We're talking good Counsel football here on the show tonight. The 2019 version of the Falcons ranked number 25 in the High School Football America Preseason 100, just to get you up to speed. On the other teams, you've got St. John's. They're at number 3. You've got Gonzaga at number 9 and DeMatha, the arch rival of good Counsel, at number 15. And Coach, the schedule, you didn't put any cupcakes on there either for the non-league, including a season opener against the number 89 team in our preseason 100, Charlotte Catholic, a power out of North Carolina, and then a trip to California to take on number 2 St. John Bosco. So I guess you were thinking like it's going to be a meat grinder, so we might as well get it right out of the box there. So tell me how you put the schedule together and your thought behind playing such a powerful one.
Well, yeah. As I like to say, the guy that put the schedule together is an idiot, and of course that guy is me. Really, in all honesty, the way we view it is our league is so hard that to get prepared for it, we want to play in, the best teams we can, and really the other part of that is we want to give our kids the best experience. So if we can, to be able to organize a trip to go out to California, the game's going to be awful difficult, but we're hoping that the trip, and the experience for our kids will be great. Win, lose, or draw. So that's part of the mindset. And then, a team like Charlotte Catholic, they're very, very good. Getting a chance to host them, have them come up again is, I'm sure it's going to be a great experience for their kids, but also for ours. So it's really, twofold. We want the competition to prepare us for, conference games, certainly. But, and we realize we run the risk of getting beat and not having the best record by doing that. But, we like the challenge, and we really do. And that's, as we talk about it, we tell our kids that's why you came to good Counsel, and that's why we coach here. And we want to be the best, and we want to compete with the best.
And you got Andy Stefanelli on the line, head coach at Good Counsel, entering his 3rd year. As I said at the top, an alum there. And, you had some big shoes to fill in Coach Malloy, stepping in there for him. But now I think the program's probably all under your thumbprint, right? So what are some of the things that you feel that you've been able to do to aside from create a crazy schedule, to put your thumbprint on this, and what are you happy with what you and your staff have done to get the Falcons ready for this year?
Well, we're excited about this team. For me, having been, coaching under coached Bully for many years prior to taking over. We really just tried to take what he had built and help try to improve it. I don't know that we've and certainly in some areas, but we just try to take what was already a great foundation, a great model. And obviously when you coach, you want to put your flavor on it, and so some things changed a little bit just I think to fit our coaching staff's personality, but the nuts and bolts of the program are still, what Coach Moy had built, and we're just trying to carry that forward. And I think we've been able to do that. This being year 3 for us, we feel like, a lot of the things that we implemented in terms of the way we practice and the weight program and everything, we feel like it's really hitting a peak right now in terms of where the kids are understanding what we expect of them. And I talked to a lot of college coaches, and a lot of them will say, hey, year 3 is the year when hopefully it starts happening. So we feel pretty good about where we are, at this point in the journey.
Talking good counsel football here. This is airing on Tuesday. We're actually we're taping this, if you will, several days earlier. Camp opened up on Monday. But as you head into camp, what are some of the things that you guys have done well over the summer, and what are some of the boxes you want to check off here in camp to know that you guys are ready to go, after that big season opener and the rugged schedule?
Well, in terms of our team going into it, we feel real good about our defense. We have a lot of returning starters, a lot of experience on the defensive side of the ball. Certainly have a few holes to fill. We had some great players graduate, but we were a young defense last year. On the offensive side, we probably have more questions. We're going to be younger there. I did bring in a new offensive coordinator who's going to help kind of implement some new things to our offense. We're still going to run the same offense, but we're adding some wrinkles to it and different ways of calling things. And so that's been really a big emphasis through the spring, was to get that terminology and that stuff implemented. So that'll be the challenge in camp, is really just getting the offense up to speed. We feel like the defense will probably be a little ahead of the offense, going into camp for sure.
And there's nothing wrong with that in high school football, right? You like a defense that's seasoned and ready to go. Andy Stefanelli on the line talking good counsel football, and I had a chance to see you guys in person last year. Another road trip for you. You came down here to Georgia, beat a very good Marietta ball club in a very physical matchup. Let's talk about the defense. Get some of the kids in here by name that you're looking for. Not only good performance on the field, but also that leadership that's so critical when you're looking to try and do something big in that conference of yours.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have a lot of great leadership on that side of the ball in particular. In terms of personnel and leadership, George Wallow, who will be our nose guard, our one technique senior, he's very, very good player, provides great leadership for us. And really we've got it at all levels. So at linebacker, Mitchell Melton is our outside linebacker. He's very dynamic. He's a 6'4", 235-pound guy that can run. So he's going to probably be the quarterback of the defense, so to speak, making the calls. And then on the back end, Jason Scott, our free safety, had a great year last year and is coming back, and will kind of head up that secondary for us. So we've got plenty of other great players on the defensive side, but those three guys, I think, stand out as far as their play and leadership ability.
Well, let's flip it over then to the offense. You said you're young. You've got some question marks there. Where are the guys? Who are the guys that are going to give you a little bit of experience until those young guys can kind of get their feet wet?
Well, the anchor will be Landon Tangwell, our left tackle. He's only a junior, but started last year as a sophomore and is a very, very good player, highly rated, of course. So he will anchor the young offensive line, and I think provide a lot of stability there. We've got some other, linemen that we feel really good about, but they're young or newer to this program, so it may take a little bit of time to develop them and get the unit to gel. Offensive lines kind of have to work together to get that, camaraderie amongst themselves. So that we feel good it's going to happen, but Landon will lead us there. Quarterback, we've got an open competition there. with Trace Campbell and Chase Williams and Ben Cuellar. We've really got three guys that we feel really good about. But we've got to figure out, how we're going to work the rotation, and they've all looked good, through the spring. We have a lot of stability. I think a lot of stability will come at running back, where Savion Wilkerson returns. He's a senior now. And then Sean Aaron, who actually played fullback last year, will go back to tailback and be part of really a three-back rotation with LeJay Hatcher, another junior. So, we're very deep at running back, so good there. And then the other guy on offense is another junior, Miles Cross, who we expect to have a breakout season this year for us at our X receiver slot.
Talking with Andy Stefanelli, the head coach at Good Counsel, number 25 in our preseason rankings. An awesome schedule for them. And I know you're probably going to give me a little coach speak here, but because you've set the schedule up where there's really not a breather on it, other than the one game at a time, one practice at a time, that coach speak, what are some of the things that you're preaching to the kids about when it comes to, right now looking ahead going, wow, this is a big, could be a great season, but it's got a lot of hurdles to get through?
Yeah, we're hoping that, some of the experience too, and kind of talking earlier about being year three, helping them, hoping that they can manage the expectations. We kind of, in year one, we were, first year under my, my tenure here as the head coach, nobody really thought we were going to do much of anything, and we surprised a lot of people. And had a great run, and that was really a cool experience for the kids. That all of a sudden we were getting talked about when nobody thought. We were kind of using that underdog role. And then last year came out, with a lot of expectation, pretty highly ranked early on in the season. And, we did pretty well, but then kind of stumbled there at the end after some injuries and whatnot. And so I think they've kind of felt the highs and lows of, being the underdog, overextending people's expectations. And then also, last year kind of stumbling and not, maxing out what we thought could have been a great season for us. So I think through those experiences, the kids have kind of learned, like, hey, it's really about how we finish and how we, do through the course of the year. So I think they're going to take a pretty good, obviously, we're going to be talking about one game at a time all year long, but I really think the kids get that. Mm-hmm. Through the experiences of the last 2 years. And really in camp, we'll focus on us, just making sure that we're as good as we can be and not worry too much about who's up on the schedule until we get later into camp, and then we'll really start focusing. One of the pitfalls is Charlotte Catholic's a great, tough opener, but you got that big game in California week 3 and just keeping them, we don't want to look ahead to that game. Yeah. As hard as that's going to be, we got to keep them focused on Charlotte Catholic and Mount St. Joe before we get to St. John Bosco. So that's one of the other challenges we'll face.
Makes sense. And the last question for you here is, and you guys have known this for a long time. Like you said, you grew up in the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference, but no championship is won without a part 2 or part deux, if you're French, I guess. And, what's interesting, and I want to try and do a story on this is happening more around the country where it's getting tougher for the elites to find games. So, the Mater Deis in St. John Bosco's have a part 2, and I can talk about the Mick in Indiana where you have the same thing. To win a championship, you got to do it twice. So my question is this: when you've got a league like you have, knowing that the 4 guys are probably going to be there in the playoffs, is there a different way of coaching in the regular season? I'm not saying you're going to sandbag anything for the playoffs, but I mean, how do you approach that as a coach and a staff?
It's interesting. So, because there's such big rivalry, you mentioned us and DeMatha, and we certainly have a huge rivalry there. But, the others, the St. John's and the Gonzagas are huge rivals too. And so, and for each kid, coach, kid, everybody has their own rival that they want to beat the most, so it's funny how it works. But, so we treat those as huge games, obviously. But, sometimes in the back of our mind, it's funny, after this, so we build it up as this huge game where we got to beat, Gonzaga, St. John's, DeMatha. But then after the game, we tell the kids, well, that was just a scrimmage because the real game's coming in the playoffs, So it doesn't really matter. But so win or lose, you tell them that. But it's really true, So, you go to those games wanting to win, and they're so competitive. The energy at those games and the crowds are just incredible. That it really brings the best out of our kids and our coaches, I think. So, but then afterwards, you kind of go, geez, now we're going to have to do that again. And so it does. If you win, it takes a little bit of the thrill out of it. And if you lose, then you say, well, I got another shot at them. But it's tough, and it's funny, too, because the second time you play, it's never exactly the same.
Yeah.
So they are going to adjust. We're going to adjust. And so it's very challenging. It really is. Tough way to end it.
Yeah, and that's why I want to do the story. I didn't really kind of continue my thought there. The point I was going to make is, as I've been looking at this through the years, without like taking numbers down, it seems like the team that wins in the regular season doesn't necessarily win in round two, and that's why I was talking about it. So as we wrap up here, the last the point is, what are some of the things that you really want to put up on that board as far as goals are concerned as you start camp here? I know I talked about what are the boxes you have to check, but what are the goals you've set for this team this year?
Well, frankly, we really want to compete for the championship. And as much as the out-of-conference games are going to be fun and exciting, I don't think our kids will be satisfied with this season unless, we're playing in that championship game at the end of the year. So not something I think we're going to talk about every day, but certainly, we know it's going to be difficult. But we also know that we can go toe to toe with anybody, and we just want to make sure that we get there, that we get to the point where we can line up with anybody in the country, and certainly the top guys in our conference, and put ourselves in a position to be there at the end. And I think that's going to be the focus. And I can tell you that amongst our players, that's what they're focused on. They're focused on being there at the end of the season. So just try to manage and navigate it, and as a coach, try not to screw it up. So that'll be our focus.
Well, Coach, I know you're very busy. We appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to talk with us and inform the nation about this program that you have this year. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck, and we'll catch up with you down the line. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jeff. Love your work. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. If you want to check out the entire preseason High School Football America 100, just go to highschoolfootballamerica.com. Tomorrow on the High School Football America podcast, we head to north of the border, a long ways, Anchorage, Alaska. That and more tomorrow on the High School Football America podcast.